back's backed up against the wall, and the bandwagon's falling right off. And you're hearing all the talk about maybe you should think about what you're gonna do if it don't work out. It ain't about if it makes sense, 'cause if the boot do it don't fit. As far as I can see, there ain't no way to be somebody if you just gon' quit. So if you gotta fight, don't lose it. If you gotta do it, die, dream, do it. If you got something to prove, go and prove it. Don't let nobody clip your wings. Keep your head down, keep on the blinders. Tune out the doubters and all the close minders. If it's in your blood, falling down ain't enough to change you. You were born to be. Getting back up, that's the only backup plan you need.
Welcome back, Rico Money Bags, the channel helping you invest in yourself so we can invest in the future. Make sure you guys smash the like button, subscribe to the channel, make sure the bell notification stays lit. We got a new intro, man. The backup plan, man. That's a banger right there for everybody. I know the markets are down. I know the Bitcoin's down, the Solana's down, the ETH is down, but I needed something to get our spirits up, something to let you know, like, hey, we're not backing down. If you got something to prove, then just prove it. So I thought that's a really good track, man. Shout out to everybody tuning in. I see everybody pulling up right away. Let me go ahead and share my screen. We're gonna have some fun for sure. Talk about what's going on with cryptocurrency. Making sure that you're not, getting wrecked in this space because the downtrend is still intact, fam. That downtrend came right back to life, and we're gonna talk about that. And I know sometimes we want things to be bullish, and yeah, I'm bullish on blockchain. I'm bullish on being here in the market. I know we're not leaving, but sometimes the prices pull back. Sometimes BTC gets wrecked. Sometimes Ethereum also pulls back. Sometimes there's corrections in the market. What are we going to do? Are we going to delete our apps? Are we going to pack it up and that's it? No, we got work to do, right? So, we got to keep our fingers on the pulse of cryptocurrency through the good, through the bad, through the beautiful, through the ugly. That's how you make sure that you stay tapped in. A lot of those phrases that people like to talk about, when the markets are fearful, be greedy. Now everybody's fearful. Ain't nobody trying to be greedy, right? It's crazy how we say all these things, but when push comes to shove, the markets are reacting differently because you can see that there's not really too much coming in and people are on the sidelines, which, it's understandable. I mean, the whole market has been pulling back, every little floor that we made and we tried, it got rejected and went back even further. There was a moment when we peaked underneath we just went under $3 trillion market cap and then we went right back over it. And, we got back into 90,000. So, there was a little bit of excitement and people were like, oh my God, we're back. And then talk about, taking a blow, because after that, that's when things just really, really fell apart. And, what's crazy is we've been talking about it a lot on the stream when we zoomed out. And that's why for a while I've been zoomed out for so much, because there's been, you got to read in between the lines. And, and shout out to Blunt as well, doing some TA with Blunt, helped us look further down the road and look at these weekly charts, look at, some of these representations of like when, it breaks one level and it finds the next. I mean, it's been showing us for a while. And now we're here and it's all good. We're not leaving. We're going to talk about some things that possibly can happen. Some things, maybe this is where it's going to go. Right now, we're like a new price discovery to the downside. And I think the weekly chart on Bitcoin, I know everything's down. You look across the board, you got BTC down 17.3%, Ethereum's down 27.6%, you got BNB down 20% and some change, XRP's down, you're down, I'm down, everybody's feeling down, right? The prices are down. It happens, right? We're not leaving. What's up, Safir? Darren, what's up, everybody? But we're not leaving the market, man. We're here to stay, through the goods and the bads. But I think this weekly chart kind of gives us like a better appreciation of like break one level, find the next, and sometimes and shout out to Blunt, this is one of his phrases as well, like easy say, hard do, right? It's like, okay, it's easy for us to say, okay, when it breaks one level, it finds the next, and we understand that, but then sometimes it's hard for us to act on that stuff. And I think this is the time where we can refine a little bit of this understanding, right? And know that we can even be as far zoomed out as a weekly chart, and you can still see, here when it broke the 50, when it broke the 100, and this 200 that we've been talking about for quite some time. We've been talking about this thing. It didn't seem realistic when we kept trying to hold on to this 100 moving average, and let's zoom way in. Let's get all close up and personal on BTC and this stuff right here. Welcome in. What's up, Profit Bear? Shout out to the Jesus Coin. They're here no matter what the prices are. I know that for a fact. They're not here for prices, fam. You know, that's the thing is like Jesus Coin, it's that whole community is gonna, still be here while a lot of people definitely leave because you got to be here for more than just this, right? But this is where like it all fell apart, right? When we were first trying to hold on to this 100, hold on to the 100. This is the weekly chart. We were zoomed out. Hold on to the 100. Hold on to the 100. When we broke this 100 moving average, and we kind of talked about this stuff that we could potentially be seeing the 200. This yellow funky line that we drew here. It's not picture perfect, but meaning that we could possibly come in and talk to these over here. And when we didn't break the T line and we didn't, print a buy signal right here on the weekly, and it went all the way to that wick, hit the 20 moving average, and that wick got pushed down by all the sellers, it just rolled over. And this is where I want you guys to understand that, it's, right here should be where it's not even hard to believe it anymore that we're seeing these prices, right? Because now what we're going to need to see is some types of holding on to this, right? We got to start holding on to something for this thing to start to march to the right and some kind of test. And you can see that right now, there's still a lot of work to do, but this yellow line was drawn out a long time ago, and it's not that far away from where we drew that line. I'm never going to be picture perfect on these prices. I never even want to try to pretend like I can be, right? But we drew this yellow line on this 200 moving average a long time ago, and look how close prices are. If we go back to this weekly chart, and where prices are actually at, and just not because we're a guru or anything, we're looking at this previous price over here where these previous all-time high we're at, and that most likely this 200 moving could creep up here and we could bump this, and it's just squiggly because we don't even care. It's just it could pop up, right? And now you're looking at this daily chart, it's like that we're right next to it. So maybe this is where we start to hold on, to this 200 moving average, and holding on to this 200 moving average is where things look really good. But then we'd have to talk and just be transparent with everybody. If we lost to 200 moving average, would it be hard for you guys to think that maybe the prices could go even lower? Some people said 56,000. I would love to see it bounce off this 200 moving average, start to turn right back up to the upside. This is where it would have to do it. This is where it would have to do it. Otherwise, maybe there's some cheaper prices on BTC. Maybe we see some more discounts on the market, but we're awfully close to where that price and that 200 moving average that we drew a long time ago. And we're here today, $73,000 BTC. Obviously, we're going to have to start making some kind of floor somewhere around here and start turning price around, because if we broke underneath this, we know that this yellow line that we got drawn out right here on the weekly chart, that's the price of where that 200 moving average is at. And you can see how very easily we started to lose some of this stuff, how 56K BTC could be real. Maybe it's time to, add on to the short a little bit like that. I jumped onto some spaces super early, and it was cool is one of my shorts actually popped up. It was like, you don't have to chase anything right now. You can just let the markets do what the markets have to do. Just let them shake out what they got to shake out, and let it prove to you where you start to feel confidence again, where you start to feel confident in the market again. And you could be as strict as you want to be right now because the market has gone through so much. So like, why not make it where you see at least buy signals on multi time frames, right? Where on multi times, like on fractal analysis, as far as time frames, like it's above all the moving averages, right? So like you're being super strict on what you want to see from the market before you start to say that you're going to start long in the market again. You don't have to be trying to find out, is this the bottom, is that the bottom, is this, like, you could be really really strict and be like, what, until I see almost every what's up fire chicken, until I see almost every single time frame really lining up for what I want to see, then I'm not going to make the move, right? I've been using some cool indicators. I've been exploring some stuff, man. This is like what you're supposed to be doing in these downturns, like, or downtime when the markets are really, there's not that much excitement and all that like that. I've been playing around with some indicators, some things to help us out as well. And it's pretty interesting, like, because one of the things I like to start to avoid is like a lot of the chop, because a lot of that stuff takes a lot of your confidence away. And then you don't want to take the trades, right? Because you're in, then you're out, you're in, then you're out. But we've been trying some things, man. We're going to bring them onto the stream as well very soon. But right now, you're just seeing the market where, like I said, be strict. Like, at least make it to everything's set up in your favor, where it's like it's above the 50 moving average. We have some buy signals. Some of the we were experimenting with other indicators that might even, let us know some information. Like, look at this. This is hold the short. It's bearish. The volume's low. And even this one right here was a pretty powerful one itself. This short was over here and it was valid. You know, these buys and sell signals are pretty valid on this right here. And right now it's still saying to hold the short. That's on a 4-hour chart. So this is a good time for you to just be like, you know, you don't have to catch everything right now. You could be extremely strict on what you want to see from the market before you go long again, and you wouldn't be wrong for doing that, right? So, you know, I think one of the easiest ones to start off is like I would have to see everything get back above the 50 moving average again, you know, and we're going to start being excited. And you know, a lot of that can turn out in our favor the minute it did that, but right now you can see how far away we are from it. This is the 50 right here that we pay attention to quite a bit because the markets get hot once it gets above it, right? You just go backwards. Anytime there's a little peak above that 50 moving average, you can see some bullish momentum. But right now, we're still well underneath it, so we know that we're going to see some consolidation for a while. You know, some tests to crash against the 50 moving average, where you know the market is so down and out right now that it's going to take a little bit to get it to roll over in that direction. And there might be some impulse candles that just spike up out of nowhere, you know, try to get people's attention. Then it doesn't go anywhere. And then, you know, then you get bummed down. It's just going lower anyways. And that's what I'm saying. Like, it's okay to be super strict on what you want to see exactly come out of this. And you're not going to miss out on anything, right? You don't have to chase a shorter time frame and be getting chopped up in and out, in and out, in and out, stopped out here, stopped out there, because there's all these, you know, buy and sell signals because the markets are super choppy right now, right? So there's no need to do that right now. I would patiently wait and be like, you know what, until I see all these time frames line up for me on BTC, like I need to see it all line up for me. It's okay to be a bear. It's okay, man. Like, you know, I just want people to like not, because I think, you know, you got two ways to think about stuff. You can use like your logical brain, or you can think of things like critical thinking or emotional thinking, right? And that's what I just want to do. Like, I'm not flooding anybody's bag or anything like that. I just want to make sure that, you know, when we're doing critical thinking, that I know that these markets affect how we feel sometimes. It'd be a lie if people said that it didn't, right? But you know, it's better to work on something so like that you can counter that, right? And it's like, okay, well, I'm not going to be bummed out if I saw the market act more volatile and I still don't see all of these things lining up for me. So there's no reason for me to be acting emotionally towards this stuff, because of course, you know, I don't got the 1 hour, the 2 hour, the 3 hour. You know, I'm being super strict on what I want to see from the market before, you know, I'm just going to be, you know, the bulls are back buying Bitcoin and stuff like that, right? And we saw that even like with Solana, it dropped down even lower. You know, we saw prices try to have a nice little reaction, but they dropped down even lower. We're going to go over that. Don't worry. There's no rush. We're going to have some fun today. We're going to cover the main tickers. I think it's important to go over these, kind of do some TA on them and see that. I think if you're a little bit strict right now, you'll be okay. You know, just don't listen to anybody saying right now is the floor. Like, just be strict. Like, it's okay. Like, I mean, I want you to get a super good entry. Why would I not want you to have a super good entry? Like, I freaking want you to win, fam. You know? So it's like, I want you to, you know, if you're a lot of that winning comes from like a lot of built up, like a lot of wins, and you start feeling really good and stuff, right? So if we go to 35, 50K BTC again, that will be a generational entry. Absolutely. You know, I might sell a kidney at that point. You know, I don't know what kidneys are going for. I don't even know if we can say that on YouTube. I'm just joking, YouTube. It's not like you push it out anyways, but 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 you know, at those prices, I mean, you know, refinance everything. But I think if you're just being very patient right now, and if you want to just take your time, and I think right now is a good time to work on the patient game, and just wait it out until everything lines up. You're not going to be wrong, because you know, when you look at this weekly chart, it's like, you know, it is what it is. Maybe we're going to see this. I mean, it at first it didn't sound that realistic, but now when you're looking, we're not even that far away from it, from where we drew that yellow line on the weekly chart. And all we did was say, hey, if I broke one level, found the next. So why can't we just wait for it to find one level and break the next on the other side, and just be and accept it just as much as that way, right? So we don't have to be like, you know, we're thinking critically. We're not making these decisions off of just based off of emotion and stuff like that. And the space is all over the place right now. Like I've jumped in some things, man. I jumped in some spaces. I listening in through the morning. I keep my ears to the ground as well, jumping in spaces like getting jacked up on a bunch of coffee before I get to these streams. I'm listening to these spaces, and you can tell. You can tell that the spaces are going through it. You can tell that the space is going through, and that's why I want you guys just to be a little bit grounded and just chillax a little bit, right? And this is what we're looking at right now is like if we accept all this stuff for the downside, like let's just wait for it to get where it's going to be bullish for us on this side, and we're not going to be surprised, right? So on the 1 hour chart, we're seeing something. Okay, this is cool, all fine and dandy that is starting to march to the right, but we're going to want to see a lot more than that, because look how close we are to where we drew that yellow line. Like that's not that far off. And a lot of people are saying 56K. We might manifest that. And if we don't hold that 200 moving average at some point, if we do start marching down here, on this level where we drawn out on the weekly chart, and we do break down to here, we break underneath the 200, I'm sure a lot of you guys would be okay that we saw 56K, that, your kidney's on the black market somehow and you're getting rid of it, right? Because now you're getting Bitcoin for the low. But right now it's just like, this is a good time to, what's up? I got you, man. I got you guys. As a matter of fact, everybody who won, can you just DM me again? Send your messages to the top. I got it in there. Just send me another DM. It's on my other phone. It's there. You guys will see the wallet's been holding it forever. It's got like a good amount of Wally token in there for you guys. But yeah, I mean, these prices, if it broke lower, then we would see some lower, cheaper prices. That's just a facts, man. And I think right now, like even myself, like it sucks because you want to kind of make some of these trades or whatever. You want to make some of these trades happen, but you don't want to force any of these trades, man. Okay, I mean that's one Bitcoin now, right? But I think not forcing any of these trades, you won't be wrong. And I'm speaking from experience. Let's turn some of this off, and we'll bring Solana up over here. Look how noisy it gets with all this other stuff on, right? But you could see how even like this one I like quite a bit because it has like it's been easy to show off like the chop. So like that, you're not now I can just see the chop a lot because I've been watching it with this indicator so much that it's all these gray candles. It's easy for me to see the chop, right? But let's turn this off real quick. We'll go to Solana. We're gonna check out all the tickers. I think right now it's a big thing where you can be getting your game really sharp by practicing some stuff and just being really patient. If you're super patient right now, I think you could do really good. And if you just wait your turn and wait for a lot of things to line up. And I think like speaking from Solana's base, I can let's go to Sol really quick. I can show you guys. It's a lot easier, even if you have just a 50 on, like you can see these trades happen. Like this is the 50. It's been falling apart. It went up to that 103 once again, that little peak, above the 50. It looked like everything wanted to turn around. This is a 30-minute chart, but the minute it got underneath here, it started to go short all over again. And yeah, we use some indicators to help us out because otherwise you start overthinking stuff. And sometimes there's a lot of a choppy area. And this is where I used to get messed up on. I'm just going to be super honest with you guys. It's so annoying. And now I found something that kind of has been helping me out. And now I can just identify, like, you probably would have took some of the longs, that presented themselves in here, right? I mean, but you can see that this thing's saying this is a close, choppy. And this is what I've been doing over these days that, the markets are slow. Is there anything that I can use to help me, like, fix some of the things that I've been, maybe making mistakes on, or is there any way that I can just kind of get a little bit better on some stuff? And right here, I'll be honest with you guys, I would have took some possible quick little longs, but you could see how the market was really in a really more bearish trend overall, right? Yeah, there was this nice little uptick right here, a nice little trade, and I'm sure anybody could have took that trade, but this indicator was saying close is choppy. And since I've been using this, like, look at this section right here, close is choppy. It's just going to the right. And that's usually where I have a lot of trouble, right? That's usually where I have a lot of trouble, where it's like, oh my God, that freaking choppy zone to get you, right? Because you think you got it just right. And it's like, it could even look like this. Look at this, how this nice entry right here. You'll be like, okay, cool. And there's going to be indicators that give you buy signals. right here. And they're not wrong. Like if you would have got in right here, yeah, there's a trade, but right away we're right back short, you know? It's like, and then right here close, and we're right back short. It's like the market's been more short than anything. And even right here, this is still at 102. Look at this nice, and just didn't right here. I'm sure there would have been some kind of buy signal right here, and it's just stood short really, and it's just been peeling back. And on Solana right now, I've been waiting and just waiting and just waiting because I already closed that trade on Solana, and I don't want to try to trace a short going lower, and I also don't want to catch the bottom. And usually this is where I start to get in trouble. Maybe you guys can relate to this, is where you already had a really great short trade and you did really good, whatever the percentage might be, whatever you made off of it. But because now you're waiting several XYZ days, you're just trying to make a trade happen, right? And you don't want to do that. And this is why I'm saying that if you're kind of really strict right now and kind of stingy a little bit, and like you can honestly just be like, I'm just going to wait till everything goes in my favor. Like I want everything to line up. And I think this is a great time to kind of try to harness that to the best and give yourself like, okay, I did a good trade. Maybe I don't take another trade for 3 days because I got to wait for everything to line up. So I can because the markets are just so volatile right now. I just need to, and I want you guys to kind of see, because Solana is one that I trade quite a bit. And this is a perfect example of like, great move down, right? Super trade. But how many people thought this was the bottom after this long move down, and they're trying to long Solana now again, right? Because it moved down so drastically from 120 down to 90. It can't go any lower. That's what I've been there. I've said it. I've even opened my mouth and uttered those words that it can't go any lower, and literally have become a believer. Instantly become a believer right after saying it can't go any lower, and freaking bam, it goes a little bit lower, right? And I think this is where, and this is why I'm being transparent with you guys, because I get to hold myself accountable. And this is a section where I would have got in trouble because I got that amazing trade. It's like it can't go any lower. I don't want to, but look, this is just chop. So don't take this trade. And when you remove this indicator, of course not. Why take this trade? Because it's going to run right into this 50 moving average. Again, right here, there's this trade. Yeah, it kind of looks like a nice long, and some indicators going to give you that. But it's a choppy zone. We're still, in this box basically. And it's been helping me see like a little bit of what's going on here. It's like you're still in this freaking box, in this rectangle. And when it broke even lower, it even ran lower, but this to the point of control almost. You'll be stuck in like these little ranges. And it didn't print a buy signal. It's nice. And again, I'm sure there's somebody right now waiting even somewhere in here. They're like, it's got to go long on Solana right now. I was in some spaces right now or early in the morning where people were saying, and I'm sure some people got caught up in this. And you know what? I was tempted. This is why I'm bringing it up, because I need to make sure Rico's on point. I need to make sure we're all on point. But I was tempted, and this helped me now out with the temptation. After I got that great trade down that I know you guys seen on my X, but all this chop zone, I would have got caught up in this stuff. But because this thing's helping me out with this chop zone, so let me know if you guys have had trouble in this, because this is something that we could be bringing to the channel very soon. I think it's also very powerful. We can implement these things and put these tools together. And I think when you can highlight what you're having an issue with, it's easier to find something maybe to fix that. And this is where I would have been like, okay, it can't go any lower. Let me get in here. Nope, that's a chop zone. Oh, wicked even lower. It says close chop, and it would have been like, oh, this is where it goes back up because Solana went as low. No, it's going even lower. Now Solana's way down here, $90 something, $93, right? And what I found is like this thing, I just wanted to all line up where it's giving me everything that I want, and it's okay to be like that right now in the space. Right now, it's perfectly fine to say, hey, I need everything to be on my side. And even right now, you see these green candles, and these are green candles in a downtrend. That was not enough to trigger any buy signal before. So you have to be careful with just automatically thinking that just because it did a drastic move down, that now it's automatically having to go back up. It doesn't have to automatically do anything. It's not answering to nobody. It's doing its own thing, right? And this is a good example of this thing short, perfect down, and we got some green candles in a downtrend where most people would have been like, okay, this is the bottom right here. Maybe Solana's ready to turn around, and yoink, no, it's not. More down. So we want to be careful on how quick we are to either, are we critically making decisions or are we emotionally making decisions? Because if we get excited because we see some green candles after all this fast movement down, I don't even care about the price no more. This is why I think, like he says, like Blunt says, to become indifferent to price. Screw what the price is. I don't even care. I want this to show me what I needed to say over here. Because if it's a runner, it could be a runner at whatever price, but it needs to give me the characteristics of the things that I like. I don't care that just because it went from here all the way down here and it's from $100 and something to $90, that just because of that amount of price action, I automatically have to assume that it has to correct now. It's like, I don't know that. I don't think anybody does. So we're going to keep ourselves in check. And I think Solana is a good example of this. So you guys are noticing some of that right now. I'm using another one as well that's been helping me out. Like I said, this is a perfect time. I think everybody should have some fun on your charts. You know, it's not about trying to make $1 million in one day, and maybe go and experiment with some indicators. Where's that other one? Okay, let me go over here. Let's go to Sol on this one. How some of these were just telling us just to stay in these trades, just to stay in these long trades. So this is a pretty nice one because it's using a little bit of the MACD, right? Without having to have the MACD up on your screen. So it's using a little bit of the MACD. We'll go to the 30-minute chart just like we were looking at before. And you can see this short was since up here. And the short here, all this chop trade, it never told you to get out. It never even said, hey, maybe do a buy or something like that, right? It just said stay even short, hold the short. This is using a little bit of the MACD in the back end. So this is pretty strong right here as well. We're going to be bringing some of this stuff to the stream. I think we're going to have some sessions with Blunt as well. I know he's been working on some stuff on TrendSpider, which is pretty bullish as well. And I think this is a perfect indicator, like a clue to you guys that this is a perfect time to be, you know, testing things out, seeing what works for you, noticing where you've been having some issues. You know, after you get a really good trade like this, like I did, short right here, come all the way down, you have all these things where it's like they want to look like it's time to go long and start to turn around, but really, you know, it's just staying to trade. You know, even right here. So we've been adding some other ones. I think this is another one that's pretty powerful right here. It gives you some information that's helped me out a little bit while I was having some fun with this one. So, you know, the dashboard status, hold the short, if the market stage is bearish, the volume is low, the trend is bearish, and just being able to see that, I think that visual representation kind of helps a little bit as well. You got the MACD status, negative, above, you know, it's got all this information right there that you can do what you want with it, right? Shout out to everybody pulling up. So what has to happen on a lot of these? I think right now what's more important as far as like worrying about where things are going to go and where the prices are going to be is like, what does that have to look like for you to, you know, get back bullish? You know, instead of waiting for some kind of suit and tie to tell you, or whoever's going to tell you, or wherever you're waiting to hear the message, it's like, you know, tell yourself like, I need these things to all line up for me for when I start to feel like, hey, maybe things are going to turn around again, right? And then I get right back bullish on the market. And you know, for me, it's going to be, you know, all these different time frames breaking over the 50 moving average. But right now, you know, you could be scoping for shorts back to back because every time it hits a moving average and fails because the market's so shaky, it'll probably flush down again, right? So, you know, you're not just only looking for these like, okay, this has to be the bottom and we're gonna, you know, run Solana back up to 150, which, you know, if we do, fine, shout out to you guys. But right now, let's be a little bit more conservative. Let's be a little bit more like, hey, I need some higher time frames to give me some confirmations, because you can see even here on the 4-hour chart, the sell signal was way up here at 130 and it never changed his mind. It's just, even with all these like little moments of like, hey, it's probably going to be fun again, it's like, nope, no, it's not. No, it's not. We're still trading to the downside. So, you know, wait till you see some of these on an indicator that makes sense to you. You know, use TrendSpider, use TradingView, and wait till like a higher time frame where your 4-hour, your daily, and your weekly are all lining up, and you can see some. Okay, Solana's on the march back to $100. You know, back to 110. You know, on the 4-hour chart, on the daily chart is looking good. You know, maybe the signals are coming back out bullish. You know, and all these things together are getting you. We're like, okay. I want to take a position right here because things are looking really good. But don't chase anything. You know, don't go. What's up, Space Penguin? We got the Space Penguin girl up here. We got Sam pulling up. Welcome in. Welcome in. Shout out to you guys as well. Always building, always doing something positive in the space. And that's what it's all about. That's what the intro was kind of about. Keep those horse blinders on, man. Like you got to just keep going no matter what. Keep doing your thing. Uh, and you'll be all right. Honestly, you'll be okay. The markets are going to be the markets. But right now, looking at Solana, looking at all these things, I want you guys to really just find your favorite indicator. It doesn't have to be nothing fancy. Do you think the dip is because of the Epstein files? I don't know. What do you think? I think the markets were hot for too long already. And, people are always going to react to that stuff. So I think there's a yes a little bit in there as well, right? I don't think nothing's ever just one way and that's it. Sometimes it's a little bit of yes and yes, right? It's like yes and no. I'm sure to some extent, right? Because I'm sure to some extent, right? And to say completely no, maybe that wouldn't be correct. But here you go, Solana, man. This is a price area that we looked at before, and when we broke past this, we definitely came lower. And you guys, let me know. Do you think Solana can coming to find this next level down here at $78? Because this is the section that let's clean this up really quick. When we zoomed way out on a higher time frame, we saw that Solana's been here before. And this is a section where, check this out. We wicked here before, but we bounced off of it. Now we didn't we went right through it. Are we going to go lower? Can Solana go down to $78? And that's why I think being super strict is okay on what you want to see from the charts, because things could go lower. Maybe some more files do get released. And TK was on these files, like Saphir is saying, right? And prices go lower. Well, that's why I want you guys just on every time frame, just wait for like your complete setup. It could be something as easy and as simple as until the 50 moving average gets crossed on all these things, man. The markets are just going to be the markets for a little bit. Right when it happens, you guys are going to see it on the stream. We'll start to kind of see everything start to roll over, but you can see, look, this thing went straight up to the 50 and got rejected. Come right back down. I'm sure somebody right here was like, all right, that's the floor now. It's like, man, the markets are tough right now. You don't even want to play that game where like this has to be the floor. Right? And this is what we were talking about. These are just some green candles, like we were just saying, a couple minutes ago. Boom, 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 boom. These green candles right here they're lying. They're red right now because of the indicator, but these green candles are full of it. The minute they hit the 50, they came right back down. That's why this indicator didn't even turn back green. So we're waiting for everything to line up. I want to have better news for you guys, but I think right now it's more than instead of news, is like, what do you have to do, to start to see everything where you're feeling all excited again? And it's like, I would wait for everything to line up to give you exactly what you want as far as every single time frame. We'll go to BNB next. So we'll bring up what you guys want. That's the effects. We got gold, silver, everything's being shaken about. So price prediction, not really. I think things are going to be really shaken for a while. And I think it's like you're going to see on all of them where it's like we just don't have everything not even close to, on the higher time frames, doing some of the characteristics that we want for these things to turn around. Like we're not close. This is the 50. So maybe some more consolidation for Ethereum before it can do this. But until that, then it's going to be a little bit of a bumpy ride, fam. Everybody's like, Rico, no, don't say that. It's like, it's just, we've been saying it for a while, actually. It kind of sucks because it's here now. But now what? Look how far away the 50 moving average is. Oops, on the 4-hour chart. It's definitely going to have to like play some kind of catch up to it. And if it can get above this and trade into this gap, then fine. That's awesome. But that's if this and that and all this and, so it's just like, all right, there's some other things that we could be doing right now, right? You could be building your community. You can be building your ideas. You can be getting better at this trading stuff. You know, we're going to talk about some things that XPX just released for everybody as well, for the whole space that you guys can use. We got some projects that are going to be using it as well. And I think that's what you can be doing, you know, whether it's, you know, working on your community, whether it's working on your project, you know, bringing some value to the space. I think that's the best thing you could do, because if Vitalik can't get Ethereum to pump, how do you think you're going to get anything else to pump, right? Now, new listings are always going to pump. You know, anything that's just getting brand new liquidity injected or something that just bonded, that's going to pump. But for how long? Because the markets are cutthroat. That's the question, right? So right now, even Ethereum, you know, when you're looking at all these time frames that are super important, these higher time frames, you can see that that there's still some work for us to do. Marcus got me feeling like I'm riding in a rally race car. Yeah, that's what it's like right now, man. Group B, man. Shout out to Group B. That's good racing, right? But yeah, I mean, it's more sideways trading, man. That's what's annoying. It's like you know, can we come up here and just say stuff that's going to be a lot better? No, we just got to. We're talking about what we're seeing right now. You know, look how far away this is. So there's still going to be some. It's nice. I love this gap right here. You know, this whole volume gap right here, and maybe the markets can come back to life. But again, I would have to see it on the 1 hour. I'm going to be super strict with everything that I want to see before that 4 hours even taken into consideration, right? It's like I need to see the rest of it line up for me. I need everything on point for me to be like, all right, that's it. It's the races are back on. But what's on is consolidation. It's consolidation. Let's go to BNB next. We'll check out XRP, fam. Again, if you're bullish on XRP, if you're bullish on this, if you're bullish on that, you're waiting for your setup right now. Right now, you're testing how to wait for your setup. You're testing how do I wait for my time to make my trade happen, right? That's what we're doing right now. So XRP, 4 hour chart, daily chart. Look at this, right? Perfect time to order some books on Amazon, because, you know, we still got some work to do. Look at this chop. You don't want to play with this section of the chop. You will be getting stopped out left and right. Just leave it alone. This is pure chop right here. This is where a lot of people get in trouble trying to figure out where that bottom is at. Let the market figure it out for you. It'll figure it out way better than you can. You know, and just be there when it does figure it out. But right now, the market's trying to figure itself out. What are they calling it? Repricing or something like that? They're calling it. There you go. It's repricing itself. But it will tear you up if you play around. You know, this is another section. I can just see it now, because this is where I would get in trouble. You know, these little choppy zones, you got to be careful, because the market is still trading underneath the 50 moving average. And these chop zones will make you think like, okay, things are going to turn around. They're going to about to break the 50, but it's like, you're better off just waiting till it clearly gets above it. You know, and it's already like the trend is headed in that direction, because right now it's marching to the right. That's that chop zone that'll get you. So XRP, Ethereum, BTC, you know, each one we're checking right now, especially like on a higher time frame, like the 4 hour chart, you can see how far away it is. And is that going to cure itself by tomorrow? Most likely not. So that's why I'm saying that. Could we see more choppiness in the market? 100%. Because I don't think that this is just, you know, crypto's wild. It's going to do a God candle out of nowhere. But is that going to happen? Most likely not. You know, we're probably going to have to wait to see some tax money coming into this. You know, more tax time coming around, people doing their taxes, maybe buying crypto on the dip, you know, with their tax money. That could be where we can see some more positive price action. But right now, nah, not yet. Here we go, BNB. And I know this is going to be a very common kind of thing going on, but we're going to check out some meme coins as well. If you guys got some meme coins you guys want me to check out, let me know. We're going to check out, of course, XPX, some tools that have been released for the business accounts. And actually, if you guys start your business account, there's actually some other stuff that, you know, because how it's operating, you guys can see some cool stuff that's going to be coming. Yeah, that's some alpha right there. But just building nonstop, man. We're going to keep building for sure. Some pump fund coins are pumping for sure. Yep. Those are always going to pump, man. The space, that's it. You know, the space it got hit by the pump fund needle. It's never going to stop. I think until they build like a rehab for Pump Fund, that's not going to go away. That's like the downtown streets of some areas. That's a wrap. I don't know how they fix that. I don't think there is. It's not going to go away. So yeah, there's going to be some. And I want to see the ones that are pumping. And yeah, why not? I mean, somebody's winning right now. BNB 4-hour chart, man. Same kind of topic, fam. We're not shocked that we're seeing all this more selling pressure, more selling pressure. We're still trading underneath this 50 moving average. And when we look at the higher time frames and we add some indicators, it was kind of telling us where things could head to. And they actually have wicked a little bit lower than what we said. The prices that we said, and we drew a line across here that sounded kind of crazy, because we found this area over here. We're like, okay, could definitely see this, 730, and everybody's like, man, that's crazy. That'd be one heck of a dip, right? Blew right past that. That's what I'm saying. So I was like, can we be seeing? We might as well mark this up. This might be one of the biggest lessons in the space where, like, not just yet. Otherwise, we probably still got lower prices in the future. Can we see a $600 BNB? Is that on the board? Because it did break through this level right here. There's another one right here, 673. We'll mark that up. We'll see if we ever visit these prices. We could. Not saying that we have to, everybody, but we could. Time and prices like to meet up. And, a lot of that stuff is going to change once all this other stuff changes, once the market starts to turn around. Yeah, I play a couple games. Yeah, it's good to do something else. The markets, the volume's low. It's boring. Build some stuff and do something else. You're not gonna, just enjoy yourself. I was playing with some new indicators, making some things, some of these that I think we'll be bringing to the table as well, especially this one right here that helps you kind of stay in there, kind of avoid the chop. The chop is where I usually have problems, right? So right here, these areas I get all happy. You get a great short. Then you see some green candles. You think it's all the party's back. The party's not back. And I need something to tell me, okay, close, choppy. And sure enough, there's some green candles in this downtrend, but I like that this can go short. Hey, close it is choppy, goes short again. So a little bit of ARK Raiders, but also, yeah, I wish I could do Dance Revolution. But more so like just watching the markets and kind of getting some tools ready to help some people out. So when these things turn around and we have more clear confirmations, it's easier for us to see. But, as I've been experimenting with some indicators and looking at some things, like the markets are still far away from that. Even this one right here, even this little uptrend right here that I'm sure a lot of indicators would have said time to go long. It was like, heck no, close it. You made good money off this short, but close it right here because it's choppy. And then it said, no, we're going short again. And sure enough, that was right. And a lot of things only go long, short, long, short. This went short. Don't do nothing, short it again. Because sometimes that's what the market does. Sometimes the market's not only going up, down, up, down, up, down. It goes up, down, down, down. So that's where these things exist, where it was down, 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 down. Yeah, so that's what we've been working on, bro. That's what we've been doing. You can't let these markets just spank you around unless you're into that kind of thing. You got to try to figure something out, right? And you got to be able to monetize this chart to the downside. And right now, that's what we're looking at. We're looking at more shorts than anything else because, well, when you turn on several different indicators, you can see how everything's just been more on the short side. Here goes your 4-hour chart. This is on BNB. Short since up here. Short it. 875 is just short. And this is where I want a lot of people to, experiment with some indicators, have some fun, and wait for it all to line up for you, right? If it's not all lined up, it's not giving you all the signals that you want on a lot of time frames, leave it alone. See the shorter time frames, this is an area where you can get in trouble right here. You see this? A lot of people, this is something that's not talked about a lot, but this is where eventually by the time you want to catch this, you're gassed out. long got closed out. Long closed out, long closed out, long closed out, long closed out, short. Oh, yeah, this is the winning one. How did I know? I don't know. And this is why the higher time frames, it's a lot easier to avoid a lot of this stuff. Forget trying to make $1 million in one day. Maybe it takes you, more time. Just wait, because the lower time frames, this is what it has for you. And then you're like, damn, I actually, so don't even just wait. It might take a couple of days. It might take a whole week to find the setup. It might take a whole week to find the setup, but it's better than getting caught up because all this chop, is what caused this right here. And if look at how on the higher time frame, you didn't have to even do none of that. On a higher time frame, you didn't have to play none of those games. Because they said, hey, don't even bother going long in this section. This is all just chop. But because those candles move so strong on the lower time frames, it can trigger indicators to put buys and sells and shorts and all this stuff, right? So just be careful with that. And this is why I'm telling you guys, use a higher time frame. Avoid the chop. And don't be surprised that just because there was one short that there's not another short right around the corner. It doesn't have to go short. Now I'm finding the long. Then I'm going to find the short. Then I'm going to find the long. No, sometimes it's short, get out, short. And sometimes that's the trade. And that's where people get messed up because they think it's supposed to go like left, right, like if you're walking or something. No. This thing can literally just be short, 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 short. And that's could be what's going on. And this is BNB. So right now, this time frame again, you guys can see that it's just short, right? And we're not getting what we want to see. We're not seeing what we want to see as far as the market holding on and some things on some higher time frames giving me something. This is going to be each hour is a candle. So we got plenty of hours to hang out. You guys can call me. You don't got nobody to talk to. We can get on the phone for 4 hours because, it's going to take quite a bit before we see this thing trigger. Then we go to the 4-hour chart. Each candle is 4 hours. We got a ton of work to do. It's going to take some time. Look at how it's still way in this direction. So we're being super patient. We're being super zoomed out. It's not the most exciting. It's not the euphoric streams that you guys, that the space has been having. We've been spoiled. We are spoiled with the pump, man. Let's just be honest. Now we got to put on some big boy pants and big girl pants. And we gotta be able to still stay in this market and do our thing. And I think just being transparent with where we're currently at and how the market's currently reacting to things, it's probably one of the best things that we can do, right? I think so. Yeah, Solana at $90 is crazy. Yes, it is. And it could go low, it can go lower. That's the thing is just because it's crazy, that's what I want us to make sure, because even I tell myself like, yeah, it's crazy. That should be it. There's no way it can go lower, right? And then you have like where you see clearly on a time frame where it's like, you better don't say that. That's like when you're about to work on the car. And I'm like me, I'm the oldest, and I would go work on help my brothers, and we work on the cars together, right? And the minute you bust out all the tools and you're setting up all the parts, and there's somebody always in a group, usually the person that's asking for help, right? And they said that they're gonna be like, oh, this should be easy. Don't you ever say that before you're about to work on. I don't care if it is something that should be easy. Don't you dare say that, because that's how you strip a screw. That's how you break a bolt that you can't find nowhere. So that's how you have to get a torch to heat it up, because the one that you got to get off is rusted on there so bad that you need a torch to heat it up for 3 hours, before you can break it loose. And you got to do all this, playing around with this. So here you guys go, how this thing just went shorter. So don't think just because it's automatically supposed to look like, oh, now this should be easy to find the long. It's like, nah, not quite actually. It will if we're not just saying, okay, just because it has to, because that's not the case. It's not just because. Let's go to Solana one more time. This is BNB. We'll look at it with this indicator just to show you guys a little bit. This is SOL right here. And I just want to show you guys how right here, I probably would have got caught up, because some of the other ones, some of the other indicators will give me a section will be like, go long now. It's like, no, it's not. It's not time now. And if you look at this one, even on the 1-hour chart, even when we were teased with some positive price action, This thing say close it choppy. You don't even want to be involved. And I've been noticing that this is the areas that I used to get in trouble in. It's also the areas that I would, and now I can just wait for, like, look at this. This was okay. You caught this short. Awesome. A lot of times we start looking for the long all over again because we caught the short. So now we're looking for a long. No, do not think that. Don't think that's just because you caught a nice short, then now automatically it's going to be the next long. And this indicator is pretty good because it's saying close it choppy. You don't even want to be around for this noise. And sure enough, it goes from a nice short to don't do nothing to short it again. Don't do nothing is choppy, still choppy. Don't do nothing to short it again. So we're going from short to short to short. And that's kind of a different way of thinking because a lot of times, we're thinking that right after you short the market, you get to long the market. And right after you long the market, because it went all the way to the top, you're finding a short or whatever. That's not always the case. Facts. The socket falls into the engine. Forget when the socket falls into the engine. Me and my brother, we experienced a screw falling into the intake manifold and stuff. But if something falls into the into the Stargate, if you worked on cars or motorcycles enough, there's like, especially on a motorcycle, right under the seat, there's a magic portal right there where if you drop a screw underneath the seat of a motorcycle, it sends it into the multiverse and sends it to a completely different dimension. And you'll never find it again. It's usually those little things to hold the batteries in place, but whatever. I've been there, done that. Yeah. Yeah, I had to throw my good old sci-fi up in there, right? So here we go with Solana. We're just taking our time. Even this indicator right here, it's not even saying to get out of this short. And we found another one that kind of has the MACD in the background. We're just kind of studying together right now, fam. It's just kind of chill stream. The market ain't nothing about to just boom. It's just we're doing a Frank Sinatra stream, nice and easy. Does it every time, right? And this one's kind of cool. This other indicator right because it's using a little bit of the MACD. You don't have to put it on a thing, but you can see how there's some fictitious candles right here. And most people would be like, okay, that's low enough right there. $93, $90 Solana, that's low enough. It's like this little indicator over here that's helped me find out that things can just go short and then short and then short. It's like that's pretty powerful. It's like I'm not falling for that. It just has to automatically, just because we've done all this short, then now automatically it has to be a long. No, we might get a go up a little bit, just like this little spot right here, right? And it was actually go short again. So maybe we're having some green candles in a downtrend in this little section. It comes right to the 50 moving average, and guess what? Shorted again. So that's what we're waiting for. That's exactly what we're waiting for. And it takes quite a bit. Like this is the 1 hour chart. So, you're waiting tons of hours just to set this up. So not that exciting right now, right? But this is why we're not going to care too much about the price. We're just going to wait for that stuff. And now if this indicator and some other things start to say that we're going long, and there's all this stuff that's long after, we had some chop, because notice that after some big moves, there's always chop, whether it's a big move to the upside or a big move to the downside, there's tons of chop. And that's where I have trouble in that section. But now I can just ignore it. Now I'm just like, I don't care. I'll do something else. Right. And I think that's where it's good for us to do right now on this higher time frame. We're most likely going to see some chop coming up next, right? Because we had this massive move down. Maybe there's going to be some choppiness next, and where the markets are trying to figure themselves out to see if we actually, get some bullish momentum. We're going to be tracking that. And I think there is going to be a nice trade eventually. But until it pops up, we're staying on this side of the fence. It's showing us, hey, and we're still trading underneath the 50 moving average. So maybe we hit the 50 again, and it says, hey, go short again. And I think that we need to get that, at least myself, right? That sometimes the market's saying short, just like right here. It was like, hey, long, get out of there. Actually just stay long again, right? Because it's keeping you. And sometimes that's part of the market. All right, let's go to some more. We checked out Solana. We checked most of them out. Let's go to Clash. We'll go to some of the favorite plays. I know we got some of these communities there. We'll check out Jesus Coin as well. Shout out to you guys. Obviously, everybody, just doing their thing nonstop. The charts are going to be the charts. Even Satoshi Nakamoto's got to go through the pullback of BTC. Even Vitalik, is going through the pullback of Ethereum. Even the guys from Solana are going through the pullback of Solana. So we're having pullback after pullback. Let's go to this. We got, will BTC close February above 100 or not? What do you guys think? I don't think so. But we'll see. Make your call, track the percentage, and see where the crowd is leaning. Play it safe or fade the market. Okay. You can predict with P Clash, free to claim, or Clash. So giving you guys both these options. We're actually going to click on this stuff. This is about 5 hours ago. This was posted. So we can select a wallet. Maybe we'll do this on some of these as well. We'll do like Solana or something, and then we'll do some of these, because you can use P Clash, and you guys can also use Real Clash. Okay, will BTC close above 100K by the end of February? Let me know. Jesus says ATL, but all not selling. I'm actually buying, not financial advice. Nice. Okay, let's see what we got right here. People say yes. And so people are saying yes. Do you guys think so? I think no. I still think we got some work to do. Would it be interesting to see these play out? Let's see what this one looks like. No trades over here using Clash. This one ends in or starts. Let's see. Okay, it starts in 4 days. Starts in 4 days. This one also starts in 4 days. So we'll track this. We'll keep this. Yeah, I don't think so either, bro. I don't think so either. So maybe there's some free Clash. All you got to, because there's going to be some people that don't care. They're just going to be bullish, and they're going to be like, yeah, it's going to go up there. And I'm bullish on like the market. Like, I love what I do. Like, I love what I'm doing and what I'm building, and I'm bullish on that. But there's corrections. I can handle that. And this is a correction. So I don't know if by the end of February things are going to be just fixed. It usually takes a little bit more time than that. If you look at last February on BTC, let's just go to BTC really quick. That's when we were having that crazy pullback last time. Let's turn this stuff off. So, this is the last pullback in February right here. End of February, we were going down. We weren't even in that, and so that's how you got to look at it. Yeah, long-term bullish, short-term bearish. We're in a downtrend. It is what it is. And man, we talked about this, and it's crazy how close we are to that line that seemed kind of crazy before. But I don't know if we'll be there, because last February we weren't. So I would probably I would put no, right? Just if I'm using that, because it would take quite a bit. We're talking about price coming way back up here. It took a lot. I had to get back above the 50 and start trading up. So, I mean, we could start, getting some of this free Clash off of people, get some of that P Clash, because I say no. Maybe we're wrong. I don't know. You guys let me know. You guys gonna start predicting? It seems like it's part of the market. I don't think it's gonna go anywhere either. I don't think it's gonna go anywhere, fam. And we got some trades here. Some people saying yes, some people saying no. So there's some Clash on the table. Yep. Market crash, conviction doesn't. Indeed. Great word. Shout out to Jace. That shout out to Jace, man. Those are his words, man. Shout out to Jace. Shout out to Jace. Shout out to the XPX community. Yeah, man, we're doing our thing no matter what. Like, we just released another utility. Like, building no matter what. Moving forward no matter what. Horse blinders on. Like, I'm just going to keep doing my thing no matter what. Up, down, right, whatever, which way the market's going, I'm just going to, it's easy. I've been being me anyways. That's all I got to keep doing. What? Just keep doing me? All right, let's keep doing it. The markets are going to turn again, right? There's a lot of great projects out there that just need to keep doing what that great project has been doing. And when the markets come back, it's going to be your turn as well. But even Satoshi Nakamoto Satoshi Nakamoto's baby, BTC, is pulling back, right? So everything has a correction. Let me know what you guys think. Those who are pulling up right now, do you guys think that BTC will close above 100K by the end of February? Are there any other ones? We might have to set up some. There's some stuff here, man. That one's almost an easy one. Will Solana? Okay, let's go to this one. What will Solana close at on February? 5 daily candles. What would Solana close at on February? So this one has 8 hours left. So tomorrow, where do you guys think this is going to close? Let's see. We got people 125 plus. No, not going to happen. I think Solana can close by tomorrow. I would pick $90 to $99, like right here. It's not the biggest gains, but are you just looking to stack up some wins? This right here. You got a 2.4x right here. This is where it gets where, you might, have that moment where it's like, oh, because it could close lower if the market, whatever. Where do you think Solana is going to close in 8 hours? You guys think it's going to be $90 to $99? This is where it gets tricky because, I wonder if you could just pick both and still kind of win anyways. Because it's going to be one of these two right here. You can take these off the board right here. This is hopium. It's not going to happen. Markets, we got 8 hours, unless you guys know something I don't know. This is nice. 8 hours. This is nice. I think it's one of these two right here. You got a 7x sitting on the table, 7.7x. Yeah, 2.4. You got some options right here. I think this one's kind of the one right here, but you can see how that's split perfectly. It's like, oof. But right now we're at $93 Solana. This bad boy right here is in it to win it. These guys are donating. Nice. We should keep a track on this one right here because this is 8 hours. This is tomorrow. We'll be able to know what's going on with this tomorrow. Are we going to start collecting Clash from everybody? I mean, we do a lot of TA. We watch the market a lot. Some of it's right there in front of us. I think like on this prediction market stuff, what you're betting, I guess, is obviously people are making some irrational choices. There's the critical thinking, making choices, and there's the emotional. Like there's 3 trades on this right now. Some people said it's going to 125. I don't know. I'm not sure how serious they are. They're just, putting a Hail Mary on there. It doesn't matter. You got, these right here, 6 trades. It's like you can bet against like just that, like the way that people are obviously, more attached to what they want to see than what is most likely what we're gonna see. I think these trades down here are more on point with what could actually happen. Let's look at another one. That's actually pretty nice. So we're gonna keep that one open. Let's go to Clash Picks again. See if we find another one that we can. Maybe the time's running out. Because man, this is the stuff we're supposed to be doing. This is the stuff we're supposed to be doing right now. We're studying. We're having fun. Chill out. Not everything is about moon today. Okay. Okay. Oh, another Solana would be nice. Will Sol trade above 200 at any point before March? The free money, come on over here. Some people say 16%. Come get some free Clash. Come vote no. Before March? Above 200? I don't know. Let's see what else we got. Will Clash reach $100 million market cap in the next 2 weeks? The markets are betting against it right now. Nice. Clash the top 150 before March. That's impressive. I know there's got to be some sports betting people that watch the channel or something like that. There has to be. I mean, you got your football games. You got quite a bit to pick from here. So there goes Clash, man. You guys got some choices right there. You got heating up. Will the Bucks actually pull the trigger? Let's see. You know, that's the thing is like this prediction market is going to have something for everybody. Like nobody's going to be left out on like whether you're betting on sports, betting on meme coins, betting on whether or not a politician says a certain word. You know, there's so many different options for you to go by that that there's something here for everybody. So I don't think this is going anywhere anytime soon. And it's nice to see that you know, now this thing has two kind of things that kind of head towards retail. You got a game and you got Clash Picks that is, I mean, retail is going to pay attention to that stuff. They're going to come into the market, fam. They're definitely going to come into the market. They're going to come into the market, man. And bullish on people that keep building. I'm bullish on communities like this. Let's go through all these meme coins. Let's have some fun together. We'll go into XPX, man. Like I said, we got something that we just released. We'll talk about that in just a bit. I'm gonna share this link if you guys can. You guys can share it as well. I think it's pretty bullish, man. We're building, even when the market's like smacking everybody around. We're just gonna keep building. But let's go through our deck screener really quick. Shout out to all of you guys that support, you know, everything that we're doing over there with XPX. And now we're gonna have that tool for everybody. But we'll bring some more people in and then we'll talk about it. Let's go through kind of Solana's top 10, kind of go through a little bit of a degen mode really quick and check some things out. Like I said, some people are mad at crypto right now. This is one that was this shark, but there was a shark that did really good. I'm not seeing anything that really sticks out to me. I'm not sure if Saphir is still holding Buckcoin right here. Saphir, this is when you talked about it. This thing's still sending, bro. You got to be rich off of this already. I'm just going to send my money to Saphir. I think he's up later nights. I think Saphir is finding more crazy plays. And look at this. Buckcoin still popping off and doing this thing. And it's pretty simple, fam. It's just a meme coin. And this is, you know, we didn't even get to this point. Here you go. Bounced off that 10, broke past the 10, and it's doing its thing now. It's going even higher now, 24 million. And it's going to be he said, I sold. All right. It happens. It happened. We don't know. You know, the market's testing everybody. It's like, it sucks. You know, I've been there. Like, damn. You know, it happens. I got it. Yep. I got some cool names. I've been thinking of some cool names, man, that are around like silly stuff like this. This is what the space likes. You know, if you put a Rolls Royce out in front of the space or a pile of poop, like where are the flies going to go to? Like, there's not going to be no flies on that Rolls Royce. Like, this space is she. But yeah, Buckcoin still pumping, getting quite a lot of attention. That's for sure. Will Buckcoin make their own blockchain? Hey, I'll trade you 10,000 Buckcoins for a Bitcoin deal. So you got people trading their Buckcoin for Bitcoin, fam. That's how crazy it is. That's how crazy it is. There's a whole movement going on. And you know, we've become to be fascinated with this. And I think it's become more and more fascinating to the space. Sheesh. I'm sure we're going to see some funny things as we scroll. We're going to dare to scroll, but here we go. There you guys go. The GIF of make some today. Pretty simple, fam. It's kind of crazy how this works out. Nothing too special. And 8-ball side pocket. Of course, you know, how could you have think of this? You know, it's tough to think of this. Ramen, the only asset you can afford. We can check ramen out. Let's just go a little bit degen. Let's have some fun together. We're hanging out right now. We'll check out some things. Bitcoin is pumping. We're going to get into what XPX is released, which is super bullish. I've already was walking through some projects yesterday, but we're going to go through some of this stuff. I know this is what we're covering. We're going to go to that ramen one next. I think I've seen it on here. Okay, right here you got ramen. Ramen's good. Ramen is good for you, man. The high sodium is super good for you. You know, that gets your blood pumping. You know, people say high blood pressure is not good, but I found out that is actually good for you. The higher your blood pressure, the more your blood is pumping, the better it is. Okay? Does that even sound real? Here we go. Ramen pumping, the only thing you can afford. We got assets right here. Get your ramen up right here. Just locked another 23 million ramen for 69 years. So they're locking up the ramen for everybody. And I mean, who doesn't like some pho? Who doesn't like some ramen? I mean, this stuff's good for you. When you're sick, it's the first thing you run to. I think almost everybody can relate to this. So here goes ramen doing its thing. Is this going to be the main ramen? It could be. It's silly enough. It's angry enough for the space right now. It could honestly be the one. I mean, it could do something. I know there's been ramens before in the past, but right now, maybe the Muruchan. The Muruchan ramen is the one right now. Shout out to those who are getting in on ramen as we speak. I'm sure somebody's sprinkling this at 196K market cap. It's just funny. It's just silly enough where, everybody's going to be later on like, oh, how did we not get it? It was right there in front of our face. So, duh, it's just ramen, right? And sometimes that's the space that we live in. It is a space that we've been living in. Let's see what else we got on here. See if you guys got anything for me as well. Then we're going to go to some bullishness from XPX. Let's go through some of our tickers that we like to check up on. And we're going to keep an eye on that ramen for sure. Let's go to Yi. Where's Yi at right now? Okay. Yi holding on to that 10 milli. And you can see, man, it could be the hottest meme coin right now. It could be the not hottest meme coin right now. It's if it's new and fresh, then it's going to be pumping. But if it's not, it's grinding to the side. It's trying to do its best to hold on. And it'll keep doing its thing for sure. You guys go right here. Yi resilience 100x. That Yi, baby. Look at that. Shout out to the Yi community. I know they've been pulling up as well. We kind of called this one early and it did the breakout stuff, We didn't get in on it, but we were paying attention to it because if it broke 10 million, it was going to do our pattern thing. And even though we saw it like this, and when it did it, it was like, all right, there it goes. It did the thing that we always talk about, but we didn't catch it. But we're happy for the people who did. We're not over here being able to say that that all of them are just going to be perfect like this one. So we're going to see what's up, man. Maybe this comes and touches $5 million market cap a couple more times. Maybe it breaks $10 million market cap and starts to pump. It's all dependent on how the market feels right now. If the communities are going to hold. Let's go to Manu. What's going on with Manu? Oh, Manu's pumping up right now. You see, everything's just got some sideways, a little bit of excitement, a little bit of sideways. Just got to keep grinding, fam. Manu's a great one. We've been checking out. Let's go check out Meme Link, see where they're at right now. A little sideways marching. Shout out to the Can Do fam as well. Shout out to the Can Do fam. Let's check up on the Can. Watch Ramen 10x by tomorrow without me going in. Yeah, without both of us going in. I got to send some Wally to these people. I just have to move the Solana. And put the Solana in there. Maybe we'll get that one. Here you go, man. Can Do still doing their thing, man. This community is strong no matter what. And this is what I want this community to understand. It's like the markets are whooping on everybody. It's nothing to do with you. And what you're doing is not being recognized or it's not good enough or, that you're not trying hard enough or whatever. It's just the market, man. And it's the faster you can get over that, the better it is because then nothing bothers you. Then you can focus on catching a nice long or catching a nice short or, making some good food with that Can Do spice, baby. I got to order some more. I've been wilding out. I got to order some more. I got out of hand with it. I got out of hand with it. I do that with everything. That's why I got to be careful what I what I touch or what I do, because you guys see me on this crypto stuff. I'm just 24/7, right? It's like, shoo. Yeah, I owe you a feet pick too. Yep. I got to do that too. I got some XPX sandals that I'm gonna put on for you, just so we can have some fun together, and at least these feet will be in some XPX sandals. All right, let's see. Let's speaking of XPX sandals, speaking of feet, I mean, let's get this out the way. Let's go. We're gonna leave these Clash picks open. Let's go to XPX right now. Let's have some fun. I think this is the coolest thing right now. This is pretty huge for not just us, but for a lot of projects. So if you got anything going on in the space right now, if you're looking to grow your business, if you're a nonprofit or whatever it might be, this is live right now. It's fully tested now, and it's free to use, which is wild to say right now. Like, honestly, like, I actually bought some domains last night, because this is actually pretty powerful. Down the road, this thing can really grow into a lot much bigger things. So I spent last night on freaking GoDaddy buying up and snatching up a bunch of domains, because a lot of times the space sleeps on these opportunities like this. This is a tool that's being handed over. This stuff is super bullish. I don't want you guys to miss this out. You guys could be like Veteran Token. I just walked Veteran Token on board. I had a call with Treese yesterday from Space Penguins. Hopefully, that goes, and I want them to use it. I want everybody to win out. The only time that there's a charge is obviously when you off ramp the crypto. But right here, this is huge right here for everybody to be able to, set a goal that they want to reach, kind of like GoFundMe, and be able to hit that goal. And I think that XPX or any project that's using this tool is one viral video away from being noticed, right? Like when you look at these viral videos of these GoFundMe, like they were feeding the homeless or helping out the veterans or helping out animals, they're doing something with helping out people. And I think the right group of people are going to use this and most likely be able to make some stuff. And who knows, that's probably the next video or the next content. It's like, I went on a little tangent. Like I was on one last night where I was like, I just started looking up all those videos of like that went viral from like GoFundMe. And that's what made me go like on GoDaddy and started going like, start buying some domains, because this could be really, really huge, because it's just about doing something bigger than you, right? And this right here is giving any project, go to xpxpay.com right now, create a business account, go to widgets, click on widgets again. Once you click on widgets again, you're going to see on the top where you can create your own donation widget, and it can be for whatever you need it to be. It can be for a charity, it could be for your project to raise funds. And what's nice is now that project or what you're doing and you're trying to hit this goal, instead of only receiving Solana or, everybody having to figure out what you're trying to receive, you can receive all of that in your dashboard. Whether somebody's off-ramping, sending you Shiba Inu, whether they're sending you BNB, you're going to get to hit this goal a lot easier than making it only by one cryptocurrency or only by trading volume that you're able to do it. This is right away. Some people want to help out right now. And why even make them wait for the right amount of trading volume or for the right amount of funds or whatever? There's people that are willing to do that right now. So this is a huge game changer. This is plug and play. You guys can embed this into your guys' website, fully customizable. You guys can create multiple of these widgets for you guys to maybe, I don't know, wants to feed the homeless, wants to take care of TK's donkeys, wants to start off, whatever it might be. But this is a huge tool for the space. If you guys are interested in this, I'm going to click this over here, copy this, share this. But if you guys are interested in creating your own business account, and maybe you have a nonprofit, maybe it's not even a nonprofit, you're just trying to raise some money for the homeless. Maybe you're just trying to do something really positive for the space to show that Web3 is, actually building for the space. Head over to xpxpay.com. And then right when you get to xpxpay.com, hit the dashboard button up here and create a business account. Okay. Register and create a business account. And within this business account that you guys create, and I'll share this link for you guys have a lot of power, fam. A lot of power, a lot of things that took a lot of, long hours for XPX to get to the point where we're at right now. And this is something that your project can utilize. There's another thing that XPX is going to be coming out with in the coming months, possibly. And, those who want to utilize that and that marketing tool that we're going to be creating, there's a lot of tools that you guys will be able to see within this business account. So if you're an individual that wants to off-ramp your cryptocurrency, 100K limit MasterCard, non-KYC 10K limit cards, non-KYC bill payments, non-KYC gift cards. But also, if you're, a nonprofit, or, you're trying to do something, you want to be able to accept cryptocurrency and then move that cryptocurrency and have all your documentations, but also be able to write it off for your taxes, right? You got right here, click on this and you click receipt form, and you're able to have a receipt form emailed to you with your name, your email, what you donated, and like that, you can use that for your taxes, right? And use that as a write-off. So we're doing it all the way right from the beginning for you guys. And this is a huge tool for the space to use. And I can't wait to see this thing take off. There's a few projects that are already, I literally onboarded Vet last night. It's just about his website, people putting it on there. But I can see this being a huge tool for a lot of good things, not just for nonprofits, but maybe for projects that are trying to raise some funds, and got some ideas, some real world things. There's a lot that could be done right here, and we're going to keep expanding. This is a project that has been building nonstop for going on 20 months. Very soon, almost 2 years, if you believe it or not, building nonstop. MasterCards, Visa cards, non-KYC bill payments, non-KYC cards, and all built on Smart DeFi with passive income and the lending protocol, which is super bullish for a project that's providing all this stuff. In the future, people will actually be able to use all of this. This is an ecosystem that we're putting all together right now. The space is going to fluctuate. People are going to come and go. That's just part of it. But we're going to keep building, and there's more utility around the corner. I told you guys that we're going to keep rolling things out. This is nowhere on the roadmap. This is nowhere promised, but here you guys go. Right after releasing non-KYC 10K limit cards, now we just release another utility in the space, and there's another one in the pipeline for you guys. And what we're going to keep doing is providing enough value to the marketplace, Web3, where this makes sense for people to use, so that value can come back to this amazing project that is built on Smart DeFi. You guys can see us right here. Come over here, check us out. Operating over 170 countries and doing our thing. Come check us out on smartdefi.com. We got 17.8% of the supply burned, and it only going to keep burning. There's going to be that supply crunch that's going to happen, fam. And just like everybody else, we're feeling it as well, fam. BNB pulls back, we pull back. There's overhead that we take care of. The whole market feels it, but the most important thing is to keep building, keep working with your community, keep delivering as promised, and that's what we're going to keep doing as a project. We got another utility that I think is going to be really bullish for projects, especially projects that are already listed on justshopcrypto.com, which we'll jump into. Because we got another listing right around the corner. It's not too far away. I'll actually give you guys some alpha. It's like, I don't know, 5 days away. There's going to be another listing on justshopcrypto.com. So if you guys are interested in listing on Just Shop Crypto, or being really close and tight knit to a project that has all this off-ramp solutions, these payment rails that we do have, there's going to be some added things once we add that other branch, where in these packages we'll add some cool things for projects that might be interested in some things that XPX is going to be offering in the future. But for those who want to learn more about justshopcrypto.com, come over here, go to justshopcrypto.com. We have a lot of great projects listed on here. Obviously, our merch is listed on here. CBC, the veteran token, Jesus token, which we'll talk about next. We got Kendu listed on here, Zach Humphreys listed on here, and another project will be listed on here in 5 days. All these projects, man, in the near future, as we continue to expand and grow some cool parts of these ecosystems for XPX, especially those who are utilizing our business accounts, you guys are going to have access to some really, really cool utility, fam. Like, I don't even, like, people really don't understand. Like, we're going to keep pushing forward in the payment rail sector for XPX. And if you guys want to be a part of that and be able to offer, some of these things to your community members, you're not always going to be able to just say charcoal's up, charcoal's down. It's like, you have to provide some value and some cool things for them. And XPX is going to do that for you guys. We want you guys to win. And we're a firm believer that when this space wins, we're going to win as well. So we want you guys to come over here and win. Come over here, show some love to Profit Bear and the Jesus Coin community over here as well. Shout out to them. We're going to share this link right here for you guys. Space is testing everybody, fam. Testing everybody. But this community, that's what's nice. It's like, you guys been through all the hardest tests already. Jesus has been persecuted the most, man. I don't think this is not going to shake you guys up the market, right? You guys are here to stay. So everybody feeling it. Everybody feeling the market. But these guys are not going to leave. They're not going to stop doing their thing. And I want every community to take a page out of this, because I'm sure nobody's going to be like, do you guys think the Jesus Coin community are going to keep pulling up for what they got to do? It's like, they for sure are going to keep pulling up for what they believe in. And that's probably the same thing that you guys got to do for whatever favorite project you have. If it's a meme coin, if it's a utility play, you're looking at, Bitcoin being tested, ETH being tested, your favorite meme coins being tested, your utility coins. It's not nothing that you're doing, you're not doing great or you're picking the wrong plays. It's just that time in the market where everything's being tested, right? But when you find projects like this, like Jesus Coin, or a project that it might be a meme coin that just has a really great community, that they're going to be, battle tested, and they're going to be able to sustain that stuff. And this is a community that's pulling up every single day of the week. And I think that if you can find communities that, even though that the market is testing everybody, even though that, the BTC is pulling back, the ETH is pulling back, the Solana is pulling back, where everything's pulling back, that they're still pulling up. And I think that this is a great example of a project. You're looking right here, markets are pulling back, their schedule is still on point, and look for a project like that. Maybe it's not Jesus Coin, maybe it's not XPX, maybe these things are not resonating with you. But if it is something that resonates with you, it should have XYZ characteristics, right? It should have something that's providing value. It should have a community that's willing to pull up nonstop. And these are the things that are going to be that winning recipe, because the markets will continue to test. We got, Solana pulling back again. Like I said, I want to show you guys really quick how even when you think there's some green candles, we're being super, and we're jumping around because I'm watching this on the other screen for you guys. Just green candles in a downtrend. Boom, 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 green candles. Everybody, oh, that's got to be the time. It's turning around right now. No, it doesn't have to be the time. Okay. At Solana now 91. It was just 93. It was looking kind of good, right? So I think on that Clash picks, going back to this, because I'm being a little bit of a degen with you guys right now. This is an 8 hours. This is our target right here. Which one is it going to land on? This is an 8 hours. 89 or lower, $90 or lower, 89.99 or above. Pretty cool to see. All right, so this is why you need to find some solid communities, find some solid ramen, something that you're having fun with. And maybe there's some fun plays, but the long-term plays are going to have solid communities, fam. They're going to be the ones that make it out of this for sure. So shout out to the Jesus Coin community, always pulling up. I think any community will want to have this, where somebody's pulling up every single day of the week. I mean, it doesn't get more bullish than that, and that's what it's going to take, fam. It's not just, the markets are automatically going to fix themselves for us. As you can see, whole blockchain, Solana's a blockchain, is still pulling back. We don't plan on building a blockchain anytime soon. Right. So even somebody who's built a blockchain got to suffer a little bit of that pullback that's happening right now. They got a whole blockchain, tons of tokens launching on it. They went all the way up to $200 and something, getting close to 300. Is they still got to go through a pullback. So prices that a lot of people thought that we would never see again, just because how many things are being built on Solana now. But here we are with Solana at $91. And again, what's going to sustain and be there when the markets turn back around, because they will turn back around, are going to be the projects that have great communities that just stood, with the horse blinders on, just kept building, kept providing for the communities. And I think that's going to be the longevity part of the market. We're here to stay, man. 73K BTC, fine. $72,000 BTC, fine. A little bit lower BTC, fine. That's fine. We're waiting on the sideline anyways. Until I see what I see, then I'm chilling. I'm waiting. And you guys just wait as well, right? It's going to consolidate for a little bit, and then you'll see it just come back in. I think it's going to be some tax money coming back in and things like that, but we'll see. Right now, a lot of work for the charts to do, more consolidation, more boringness, more like, oh my God, I just want to be a part of a trade already. Why can't I be a part of a trade? It's like, cause these things, the trends are not broken yet. Hold the short, bearish, the volume's low, the sell signal was here. Yes, some nice green candles, but nope, right back down. And you're seeing this on every time frame. So, hey, now you can chill and just wait for things to kind of turn around. Just let the markets do it. They're the only ones that are going to figure it out. But we still got some pullbacks to deal with. I'm eager, maybe in a week, maybe 2 weeks, maybe there'll be enough support, enough consolidation where things started to roll over. And I can't wait to be like, here we go, and we get to do like a screenshot of a really cool long, because I do think that there's going to pop up somewhere. I just don't think that it's going to be how we want it to be, where it's like, okay, now we had the dip, now we get to go do the long. It's like, nope, Sometimes it's a short, then another short, and then you know what? On top of that, there was another short. Like what the heck? How many times do we think just because we shorted it and we think that because it's shorted good enough that now we're looking for a long? It's like no, no, no. Here you go right here from short to all this green. I would have probably bought some of this stupid stuff right here. It didn't say to go. You see this short? Should we go long? Nope, because it's a short to get the heck out to another short. That's how they are sometimes. It's not always going to be going long, short, long, short. Here we go. Short, get out of it. No going long. It doesn't say to go long. This is where you get caught. To not even short here, short right here. Because this was a little bit of chop right here, a little bit of chop right here. This was actually the short again. So from a short to seeing what's going to produce next. So just don't think that it's automatically we go short, long. It's like, no, sometimes short, man. So if you don't want no short, man. Oh my God, fam. Well, I think we had a pretty good stream, fam. You guys, those winners, send me some DMs so your things can go all the way to the top. You know, the markets are going to be, the volume is low, so it's going to be boring. And, you know, there's going to be consolidation until some of these things roll over. It just won't be exciting all over again. But that's why you're supposed to be building, you know, building stuff for multi-cycle, building things, different funnels to come back to you, because it can't just rely on one thing. It has to have a lot of different avenues. So like that, when times like this happen, you know, that you're like, I'm not worried about it because I'm doing all these things, right? No matter what, I'm going to be doing this. So that's what's important. And I think XPX, shout out to the community holding it down. Shout out to the team as well. This is a perfect example of just, even when the market's at its toughest time and getting hit as hard as it can be hit, we're still producing utility for the whole space, not just for us, but for everybody. And I think that this could turn into something really massive. And one viral video of crypto actually doing something good. What if, you know, crypto raised one of those crazy GoFundMe amounts, you know, that you hear somebody at a taco stand and everybody donated crypto and they changed this lady's life and they donated, you know, 50K to this lady or something like that. That's all it takes. That's all, you know, and now everybody's like, wow, look at crypto doing something positive, you know, where maybe people are willing to go download a wallet just so they can, you know, donate and do the right thing and do it via crypto. And now we have access to that. And like I said, even at the toughest point, we have non-KYC cards release. And now I think a very powerful utility. It could be for the dogs. It could be for anybody in the space. It could be for projects. It could be for anything. This is just more use case. And I think it has viral potential, because when you do something big for somebody else, if somebody got $10,000 donated to them that were on hard times, some of those viral videos just go on TikTok or go on YouTube, like I did yesterday after we released this, to show you that, you know, a lot of those viral videos was because they did something bigger than themselves, right? It was for somebody else. And I think that crypto needs to do stuff like that. And maybe it's XPX that has the tools for that stuff to happen. And we can make some great things happen and help people or help animals, whatever it might be in the space. But I think this has some viral potential. Come over here, like I said, to register at this and get your business account. And don't miss out, fam. Don't miss out. Really cool things and more utility coming around the corner, and more tech for communities to be able to have some things to flex. You guys don't want to miss out. We're going to keep doing our thing over here no matter what. Hopefully you guys can appreciate that as well. You know, building nonstop in this crypto space, it does test everybody. But when you're determined, man, and you got a reason to just keep pushing, and you got something to prove, then you just got to prove it, man, right? So we're here, man. This is a huge opportunity in the space. I know we're here. Some people want quick flips, but, you know, we're here to secure the .com moment, man. This is an opportunity for some people to be grandfathered in at some major companies. And that's where we want to be. We want to be one of those off-ramp solution, one of those payment rails that is just as normal as all the other ones that you see, like Zelle and Cash App and you know, Venmo and all these things, and where XPX Pay is just one of those that everybody just, it's just normal for people to have that purple bubble on their phone one day. And that's what we're working towards. And the more access we bring to people and the more value we bring to the space, the more of a reality that becomes. So thank you guys so much. Like, comment, and subscribe. You guys can't do that. Continue to come back and experience the abundance of money with me. But you know what? If you got something to prove, then just
what you gonna do